hope you guys are ready. It is playoff time.
After all the hours, the weeks, the months, it all comes down to this. The journey to the grand finals is almost complete.
I'm going all the way. I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way. I'm going to another level.
No way! That was domination. They done it again! Unbelievable! And the rock stars of the Overwatch League continue to crank out power chords. Ooh, get rocked!
There's only 1 week left, so if you want to stake your claim, cement that legacy, there's no time like the now.
I'm going all the way. I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel.
We know it won't be easy to hold that trophy, to wear that crown, but if you want it, come and get it. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for some more playoffs, and we are live in Los Angeles for the 2019 Overwatch League postseason, where today, one of our top 4 teams will be eliminated from grand finals contention. The 4th-seeded Hangzhou Spark dropped their first match of the playoffs, but have won 2 straight in the losers bracket to set up a date today with our number 3 seed, the San Francisco Shock. After losing their first match to Atlanta, the Shock have looked powerful in 2 4-0 wins over London and the LA Gladiators. They'll try to take another huge step towards our grand finals in just about 30 minutes. Excited fans are making their way into the Blizzard Arena for this win-or-go-home match between 2 championship contenders. Welcome to the Watchpoint Preshow, presented by State Farm. Malik here. As per usual, we got Zoe, Brent, and Sideshow. And guys, I gotta ask you, have you been able to recover from that ultra suspenseful but exhilarating upper bracket final match that we had last night? It was crazy.
Actually, no. I went back and rewatched it. That's what I did. I actually did, yeah.
Man, it was such a good game. Honestly, I said every single time. I mean, it's a match that was worthy of the grand finals.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to be topped, I think, today. But for some reason, I got a feeling that we might be seeing an even better game.
Yeah, we've had a top 3 all season long, this big 3. And then also the Hangzhou Spark, who've made an insane run already through the lower bracket and will be hungry to continue. I think every match from here on out is going to be stellar.
Yeah. I mean, the competition is so stiff right now. And guys, it's our last weekend in the Blizzard Arena, so we're going big here on Watchpoint. 4 teams are vying for 2 tickets to Philadelphia's Wells Fargo Center over the next 2 days, and we'll find out how the Grand Finals Championship will be a dream come true for the remaining contenders. Plus, as they get set for the biggest match of their lives, we'll hear from the stars of Hangzhou and San Francisco about how they plan to stave off elimination and send their opponent home today. Both of these teams have notched 2 wins in these loser brackets. Now they face off for a chance to play New York Excelsior tomorrow. The winner of that match will head to Philadelphia to face the Vancouver Titans for all the marbles. It's been a long climb to this point for the Hangzhou Spark. After a losing record in the first stage, the Spark climbed all the way to our 4th overall seed in these playoffs. Now, they'll have to beat the number 3, number 2, and number 1 teams to win a championship. But they'll have their hands full with a familiar foe in the San Francisco Shock today. Isn't that right, Sideshow?
Yeah, these 2 teams have actually got a lot of history together. They've played 3 times in the regular season, or rather twice in the regular season, once in the Stage 2 playoffs. All 3 times it went the way of the San Francisco Shock. They got demolished. The 2 most regular, or recent games, I should say, rather, were 4-0s in favor of the Shock. They've been dominant in these matches. But we've got a slightly different scenario now. Both of these teams were knocked into the losers bracket right at the beginning of the postseason. They lost their very first match, but they've gone on a tear in the losers bracket, improved enormously as teams, and both teams, both the Spark and the Shock, have recently eliminated the team that knocked the other team down into the losers bracket. So Spark beat the Reign 4-0, the team that beat the Shock, and the Shock beat the Gladiators 4-0, the team that beat the Spark.
Fantastic.
So that's such a weird symmetry that we've got going on with both of these 2 teams.
Yeah.
Neither want to be stopped. Both are going on a tear through the lower bracket. It's 2 juggernaut teams fighting each other.
Yeah, they both started kind of shaky in these playoffs, but really, really looked hot when they had their last matches. Now, I want to take a look at the Shock specifically here and what the Spark can take advantage of. Because despite looking quite stellar in their last game, there were still a few things where I do feel like Shock could be, actually focus on. And specifically, I'm looking at the first one here. You see the 50% win percentage when they're playing those Reaper Doomfist comps. And unfortunately, this is the most dominant comp we have right now. This is the most important thing you want to run. 50% might not sound like it's little, but it actually is in comparison to every other team right now in the playoffs. And this is something that I very much hope the Shock has cleaned up, because if we're looking at it straight in a mirror match, currently the Spark look a lot better.
Yeah, another player we really need to take a closer look at as well has to be Gushui as an individual, because this is a guy who's come into this team as one of the only Mandarin speakers on this team, with the exception of Crystal, who's no longer on the team itself. But he's had to learn Korean and had to communicate with this squad in a language that he didn't know. And over the course of the season, we've seen great strides and great improvements from him, but now it's really heating up. And the coordination he's got with the rest of his team is just fantastic. This is going to be bread and butter for a lot of teams, is combining the Orisa Halt to combo it up with the Doomfist, to combo it up with different ultimates. This is what teams are really relying on to secure a lot of kills right now. And it feels like the Hangzhou Spark have really gotten to grips with the meta and how it's played right now.
Yeah.
And they're primed right now for just a run into the playoffs. I can just feel it somewhere in my bones. It just feels like this team are just getting ready to just surprise everyone.
They get better and better.
Yeah. And Gushui is nuts. Everyone else is switching out their main tank as we progress to these different metas, but Gushui, he stayed in there from the beginning. There's a reason why that man is an MVP candidate this year. But guys, dating back into the regular season, the Spark have won 6 of their last 7 matches. And though they have yet to beat the Shock this year, Gosby and IDK feel like now is their time to shine when it counts the most.
That is it. Hangzhou Spark take Gibraltar. They take the set.
오늘 경기 시작 전에 그렇게 4대 0으로 우리가 무조건 이긴다라고 생각하고 들어가진 않았지만 경기 1세트, 2세트 하면서부터는 저희가 4대 0으로 이길 수 있다고 생각하고 게임한 것 같아요.
저는 애틀란타 선수 6명의 합보다 저희 6명의 합이 더 잘 맞았기 때문에 이긴 거라 생각해요.
더 열심히 해서 그 노력 속에서 결과가 나오지 않았나 싶어요.
San Francisco take one more step towards a berth in Philadelphia.
좋지 않은 모습으로 패배한 경기들이 많았는데 그 모습들을 잊게 만들 수 있는 경기를 보여드릴 수 있지 않을까 싶습니다. 저희는 정규 시즌도 4등으로 마무리했고 이제 많은 사람들 인식 속에 잘해도 못하는 팀 뭔가 이렇게 되지 않았나 그런 것 같아요.
네, 저희는 결국 노력을 해서 성장하는 팀이라 생각을 해요. 결국엔 지금 이긴 팀이 저는 더 강팀이라고 생각하고 더 좋은 팀이라고 생각을 해요. 근데 그게 저희 팀이 될 것 같아요.
Gosby has really thrived as a damage dealer since Rollock came into play in Stage 4. And in these playoffs, he's a top 3 Reaper in most important metrics, though he may need to increase those final blows and get some more out of those Death Blossoms if the Spark want to take out our top 3 teams. Now, if you want to watch from Gosby or any of your favorite players' POVs this week, Coca-Cola is giving you the opportunity to pick your favorite in-game POVs during the All Access Pass Command Center free trial from today, September 12th, through the 15th. So definitely make sure you check that out. But guys, there are just 4 teams remaining in championship contention for 2019. But when we come back, we'll take a quick look at what's ahead for some of the other teams as we head around the world for home stands in 2020. That's next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
What would it mean to you personally to win the grand finals?
그랜드 파이널이라는 게 시즌 전체 통틀어서 가장 큰 경기이기도 하고
그랜드 파이널 우승이 큰 의미죠.
우승을 한다는 것 정말 저에게 의미가 커졌고
확실히 더 성취감이 있을 것 같아요. 평생 기억에 남는 기억이 될 것 같고.
That's literally been my goal since season 1 to win the grand finals.
우승을 하면은 그래도 세계 최고의 팀이라는 좀 그런 게 붙는 것 같아요.
赢得冠军的那一刻，我觉得我应该会直接先哭出来吧。
작년에 되게 허무하게 좀 결승도 못 가보고 떨어져서 지금 현재 목표가 우승보다 더 큰 건 없는 것 같아요.
Everyone felt what it was like to be kind of a joke last season. We all learned from that. I think it was like really humbling for all of us.
제 선수 생활로서 큰 성공을 이뤄냈다고 그렇게 생각할 수 있을 것 같아요.
우승했을 때 소감은 솔직히 우승을 해봐야 알 것 같아요. 그때 그 감정. 그렇기 때문에 저는 좀 높은 자리를 원해가지고 야망 있는 남자라.
그랜드 파이널 우승했을 때 일단 말이 잘 안 나올 것 같고 돈이 올라간다는 거 그게 중요한 것 같아요.
These teams are fighting for more than just the trip to the grand finals and a championship. There's some serious cash on the line. The losers of today's match will take home $350,000, some serious moolah. While the remaining 3 teams will battle for over $2 million, including $1.1 million to our grand finals champion. For the 16 teams that are out of the playoffs, though, their focus has already shifted to the 2020 season, where all matches will be played at home stands. As we close the books on 2019, we want to take a quick peek ahead on how some teams might fare in their home markets next season. This is our 2020 foresight meter. I'll set up a team, and the analysts will determine what player emotion best describes their outlook for 2020. We've got Sad Ryu Jae-hung, or Cry Jae-hung. We have OMG Moth, Whatever Hydration, Lulls with Bumper, and of course, we have Baby Bay PogChamp. Now, since we're just talking about the grand finals, we were just talking about it, let's start off with this year's champs, or last year's champs rather, the London Spitfire. Sideshow, we'll start with you.
I think most people, when they look at London Spitfire and the mediocre season that they had this time around, even the regular season, and the fact that it was mirrored last year in the regular season, and them moving to London where there won't be that many scrim partners, I think people won't have many expectations for them. I know that Monty on the desk was roasting them, and whenever I get roasted, I tend to feel a bit like Jae-hong as well. But I feel a bit more confident about the London Spitfire. I feel like if they don't move to London and actually be based there, if they move somewhere on the East Coast or stay within, somewhere in America where they can get better scrim environment, and they make a couple of changes to this roster, add a bit of the coaching staff now that the players have been humbled after 2 fairly poor regular seasons, I'm feeling good about them. I'm actually thinking that they'll be on the bumper end of the level. They'll be feeling happy about this. I see London Spitfire, if they make the right changes next year, being a championship caliber team within the next 2 years. 2020, 2021, if they make the right changes, I can see them winning another title.
I'm going to take a look at another team, though, actually, with the same color scheme, kind of. They're another blue team. I don't really know how I was going to transition from that, but
Are you colorblind?
a little bit, yeah. Dallas Fuel is the team I want to talk about because they had a pretty poor season now for 2 times in a row. But you know what? That doesn't matter because you've got fantastic fans in the forms of the Dallas crowd that turn up, and you know they're going to turn up every single time. When Dallas had their homestand, they went 2-0 during it, admittedly against the Valiant Houston, 2 average teams. But this team does feel invigorated when the crowd is behind them and they've got that presence there as well. And hopefully they've learned from their lesson from this year, from the previous year. They're going to blow the team up a little bit. I'm feeling a baby pog for this one. I think that the team, the environment, what we saw at the Dallas homestand, 4,500 fans, all cheering for the Dallas Fuel. I mean, how can you not get behind that? It's just absurd.
I agree. And we're on the subject of screaming fans, so I'll let you take Paris.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, that one is very close to home, not just to me, but also to actually some of the players on that team. Now, I'm just going to take both of your talking points and funnel them into that one team, because, yes, the Parisian crowd is absolutely bonkers. Like, you can't even imagine, if you've never been there, how loud they are. Malik can speak to this. Now, we unfortunately do face the same issue as we have with the London Spitfire. They're going to be in a weird little scrim bubble if they are moving out there. There is no other OWL caliber teams in Europe currently. So the big question is, who will be scrimming with them? Do they have to move? or will they not move? I don't know. I know a lot of the players would really prefer to be back in Europe again. However, I'm going to give them the bumper because if they move back there, then it's going to be a great time. Quality of life is going to be fantastic. Not sure about the gameplay, but, you know, they're going to have a good time. So good for them.
Okay, I'll tell you who's going to be really, really excited to go back home. The Seoul Dynasty. Moving back to the heart of the esports mecca, really where Overwatch started becoming incredible, that's going to be great for them. But I feel like the Seoul Dynasty are going to be in a position where the organization has their pick of the litter. They could choose any players. So the emotion I think the players are going to be feeling is a bit of the OMG moth. I feel like they're going to, if they're wanting to hold on to their starting roster and expect that these kind of performances will be allowing them to stay on the Seoul Dynasty, I'm not sure that that's going to be the case because Seoul could pick anybody they want. Everyone is going to want to be on the Dynasty next year.
On the other side of this, I'm going to be taking a look at Chengdu as a team because they should be set up for success now. They're one of the only teams, Chinese franchise teams, with almost an entirely Chinese team, I should say. They also are going to be in the Sichuan province of China, which is known for its culinary food. I'm a big fan of food. I don't know about you guys. I think they're going to be pretty happy there. And also, they're going to be in China, and they're going to be having one of the largest fan bases as is. We've seen some of the fan meetups. It's been absurd. I'm going with the baby pog again. I think Chengdu are potentially going to be going on a bit of a tear because they're going to be trapped in that Asian bubble with a lot of high-caliber teams, and they're going to be forced to perform, and they're going to have a sick fan base as well.
Yeah, I want to talk about fan bases here, about the, you know, this exciting thing of moving to a new place, experiencing your home crowd. So let's talk about both LA teams. They go to nowhere else. In fact, they're just going to stay here. And that's very exciting for everyone involved. They will be sharing a venue also, just to, you know, add some extra spice. Yeah, wow, big wow. I don't think they're actually going to be upset about that. I think that is very convenient because unlike every other team, they don't have to do the whole moving and packing up thingy. They can just, you know, stay in their nests. It's a good comfort level. They probably
like,
established relationship.
You know,
What?
it's like a middle brand.
What?
Milk, just like a glass of milk.
Where is this coming from?
You could always rely on a glass of milk to just
No,
do
you
what
can't.
expected.
It can go bad really quickly. And you have cheese.
Are you
I
still
don't-
thinking about the hot wings? Talking about me right now.
She was talking about spice. I'm like, it's not really that spicy. It's like a glass of milk. You know?
Well, all right, guys.
No.
Well, guys, the San Francisco Shock aren't looking ahead to 2020 just yet. They're still chasing a Grand Finals championship. And when we come back, they'll tell you how they plan to move past the spark on their way to the throne. That's next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show, presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Going down is going to be the Flux picks up a lot of people with it. That's a ton of damage. Roar down already, though, as he gets one. The stone thrown in, and they're trying to keep him alive. They're keeping the Bastion alive, and Fezzy going wild, tearing through the entire Gladiators team.
Just rid of the single charger, and he's going to teleport in. Oh, this guy is absolutely mad. He chases down Violet, and the damage from behind. The beam, baby! Violet is taken down by Erster, coming in with a meteor strike. But the Symmetra, the big difference maker here. Never thought I'd say that.
For the punch, will get moved back. Meteor strike's ready to go, and everyone's just going to follow up on the stairwell. Drops down, and Fence finds a triple kill. Oh boy, knocks him out of the park.
I mean, Huxell's the only player that can see that immortality.
Oh, no.
That's what happened. Oh, not just go back to spawn. Okay, now how do you get rid of this? Oh dear, nice little concussive blast on the high ground. Monster got rid of Kenny, he knocked him off into the drink. Even with that immortality field there. Oh no, he's done it again! What a monster!
Before every match starts, I say, let's just have fun this game, because it could be our last, so might as well just have fun and just screw it. Do what we do in scrims, just don't be nervous at all. Just play reckless and we play our style.
Wings are clipped, shields are cracked. San Francisco take one more step towards a berth in Philadelphia. They're not there yet, but they want it.
We prepared by looking at like how they tend to play like as a team and how they use their DPS especially, and we just countered it. Me, Striker did really good on the Reaper, the DPS duo. Our tank line did really good. Our support line did good. I mean, everyone did good. So
I'd say you and Choi did the best today. If I had to pick like names, we have a better understanding of the meta now. I think we've always had really good synergy.
I actually expected Spark to win by a lot, but I would rather play Spark 2 because I feel like they're easier for us. We just know their play style, and we feel like we're good against it.
The San Francisco Shock had just 5 losses in the regular season, including a golden second stage where they lost 0 maps. But after being most of our favorites to win the grand finals, the Shock find themselves 1 loss away from elimination today. How can they get past the Spark and avoid that, Bryn?
But they've already set themselves up for a lot of success, actually, with the deep bench that they've got. They've got a multitude of damage-dealing players that they can sub in and out. And this works in their favor in multiple ways. Not only does it make it harder for the Hangzhou Spark to be able to prepare for them, but it's also very good for them when they're preparing for individual maps, because you've got players like Sinatra, you've got players like Rascal and Architect, put them in for specific maps. You say, you know, Architect, I want you to play on the control maps. You only have to worry about this. Prep for Lijiang Tower. Rascal, you're going to be playing for the escort maps. You only have to prepare for these particular strategies. As a coach, you're going to be setting your players up for success because they don't have to worry about as much. The same example with Sinatra playing on the assault maps. You only have to worry about this particular movement from one team. It just means that it gives your players a lot less stress, I guess, in terms of the preparation they have to make.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier for Shock and way harder for Hangzhou, because Hangzhou, they're going to have to prep for so many different looks from the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah. And the San Francisco Shock are run by Krusty, who's just an incredible head coach. And you heard Sinatra there talk about some of the preparation that they did for the Gladiators and how they think they match up well against the Spark. Well, Architect has been a player that's come in and provided them this bastion where they've been playing a lot of this kind of composition. It has been, in some sense, the meta of the lower bracket that Spark and the Shock have been playing a lot more of. Whereas most teams started with the Reaper Doomfist, we're seeing a huge amount of Bastion compositions with Bastion Symmetra, Bastion Pharah, Bastion Mei being used, and both of these teams very, very good at it. Now, here are the stats of the Bastions, which doesn't mean that Godspeed is a better Bastion than Architect, but they do kind of allude to how well the teams are setting them up and putting them in position and peeling for them. There were so many instances in that Spark game against the Atlanta Reign where Godspeed seemed immortal because his team was so good at playing around it. They had Bazzi on the Mei, contesting the card, they had the Immortality fields the whole time, the Arm Matrixes. Everything is working very, very well, but both teams know how to play it and how to counter it today.
I want to look at the supports here in this very match, specifically the San Francisco Shock side. I want to talk about Moth as well as Violet. 2 really standout players, which granted in this very meta, it doesn't look very flashy unless you're Moth and just like kick everyone off of the Rialto map. But other than that, I feel like we kind of, yeah, there it is. We feel like we kind of don't give enough credit to how important supports are right now. Even though they don't have those flashy plays, they really have to be spot on with every single ability to have. If you consider how, like the increased tempo with Sigma on the map, with the Doomfist, the supports really have to always be in the right position, always be ready to use their ults to like save their teams from those clutch kind of DPS plays. And Violet and Moth, low-key, have been carrying that team by doing just that.
I dig it, Zoe. The Shock really going to be counting on that backline to show up today. But guys, all the hours, the weeks, the months. Oh, wait, I'm not doing that epic read again? Okay, my bad. Guys, it's time to put up or shut up. Spark versus Shock is 10 minutes away, and our predictions are next on the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
Here we go, Gushui and the Hangzhou Spark. They made quick work of the Atlanta Reign just a couple days ago, but they have only won one map against the San Francisco Shock all season long. They're gonna have to turn things around today. The San Francisco Shock made quite the biggest surprise here in the playoffs so far when they were kicked into the losers bracket, but they've been fighting their way out, and they have another match to do so against the Hangzhou Spark. Here are our predictions for the Spark versus the Shock. All three analysts are sticking to their guns and taking San Francisco to get its fourth win over Hangzhou and advance to face NYXL tomorrow for a chance to play Vancouver in the grand finals. And from the looks of it, Choyo Ben isn't stressing on the match either. He's having himself a little nap right here.
I saw this in the open and I was crying. I mean,
He's meditating. What you talking about?
in high stress scenarios, I can never sleep. I don't understand how he does it. He's like you just sleep
I
wherever.
sleep anytime, anytime.
Yeah, you want to go into the match well rested, in my opinion. I think that's
You don't want to be sleeping on the Spark, though. They could cause an up.
Hey-oh!
That is true. You can't sleep on any Overwatch team. But guys, that does it for the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. You'll see us again at halftime. But until then, enjoy the match.